Hello and welcome to this simple introduction on how to set up the network monitoring service NagiOS and how to set up a simple NagVis map. On the screen you will see 4 different squares, each representing different parts of the video. Just press one of them to get to the part you would like to see. Now before we start, I want to explain what NagiOS really is and what it is good for. NagiOS is essentially a server that you install on your computer and use it to fetch information about items in your network, often used by companies to monitor their switches, computers and servers. Keep in mind that when you use a network monitoring program like NagiOS, you will need the right to do so or own the network yourself. Now the first program you're going to use is called VirtualBox. To download VirtualBox, just follow the link in the description and you will be taken to this site. Just press the giant blue box in the middle and it will take you to a site with a bunch of options and you just press Windows host. And now it should download for you. Now once you have downloaded VirtualBox, you will need the NagiOS server operating system. If you follow the second link in the description, you will be taken to this site. Once you are here, you will need to press the button that applies to your operating system. I'm using Windows 10, so I'll use the one below Microsoft. Now, since we're using VirtualBox, you'll need to press the one called Open Virtualization Format. You'll be taken to this page and you just press Skip. You will be taken to this site and it will start downloading automatically for you. Keep in mind this might take a little while, so bear with it. Once the program is done downloading, all you need to do is launch it. Once VirtualBox is open, it will open a separate window. Here I would recommend using the same settings that I'm putting in, but you can use whatever you see fit. Of course, some computers might not have the right specs or whatever, because this is a virtual machine, but still you need to have at least the actual specs that you're putting in, because it just can't create more specs for you, like more RAM or more CPU. Now, if you get this message whenever you try to launch your virtual machine, virtualization is turned off in your BIOS. Because different computers has different types of BIOSes, I can't show you how to get into the BIOS or how to find this option, but the option should be called something along virtualization technology. If you just simply enable this, virtualization should be enabled on your computer. Now you just exit and save. If you're struggling with finding this option, I would recommend looking under options for your processor. Once all of this is out of the way, make sure you're connected to the network that you want to scan. Then you select the virtual machine that you have NagiOS installed on and press start. Keep in mind that loading this might take a little while. Once you're on this screen, you don't need much more than the IP address below the word NagiOS, but if you want to log in, the default username is root and the default password is nagiosxi, as it says on the right side. Now all we're going to do is take the IP address that you see here, 192.168.160, and write that in our chosen web browser. If you've done this correctly, you should be taken to this site. Then you just press Access nagiosxi. On this page, you can choose whatever you want for the boxes, but I would leave the program URL as it is, and I would make sure to write down the password. Also make sure that the time zone is the correct time zone that you are currently in. Now NagiOS will ask you to log in, so just press login to nagiosxi and it will take you to the login site. Once you're here, hopefully you wrote down your password and username or still remember it. So just write that in and press login. Now it will take you to the license agreement page and just press accept and submit. Now it will take you to the actual NagiOS page. I would uncheck this because it always pops up and is extremely annoying. So just uncheck it and cross out that. Now, unless you want to be toured around NagiOS, I would press End Tour. Now that we're actually inside NagiOS, I'm going to show you the map where you can find all your switches, servers, computers, everything that you have connected to your network. You just go down to Network Status Map, and here you can see we have almost nothing. So now back at the main page here, I'm going to show you how to manually add a switch or a router to your network. You start by hovering over Configure, then pressing Configuration Wizard, then you will be taken to this page. Once you're here, you will have a bunch of options for different stuff to add, and you'll scroll down until you see network switch / router, because that's what we're going to add. Here we have it. Now, since the switch's IP that I'm going to add is 192.168.112, I just write that into the IP address box. Then I scroll down, press SNMP-v1, and let everything be as it is, and press next. On this page, first you will pick the display name of the switch. This can be whatever you want, but I would really recommend having a system for it. The system will make it easier for you to identify what switches have something wrong with them, for example, so you don't have to go around remembering every IP. Now you're going to want to uncheck the port status for every port on the switch. You have to keep the rest on because it will cause problems for you later if you don't. Also remember to uncheck ping, or you can have it on, but it's unnecessary. Now once you get to this page, just leave everything as it is and press finish. And you should see that your switch is now getting added to NagiOS. Now I'm going to show you that I've added this switch and a lot of other switches to the map, as well as a server and a computer. Here you can see them. Here you can see the server, the computer, and the switch we just added, alongside all the other switches that I've added manually. If you have a custom SNMP password on your device, just do exactly the same as before, just write the password into the SNMP community box, and that's it. As you can see here, the switches are not connected to each other in the way they are in real life, so now I'm going to show you how to do that. First you go to BB map, and then you select the switch you want to do first. I would recommend doing them in the order that they are in right now, because that order won't change. So I'm going to start with the top one here, Daniel. When I press it, it'll open a new tab, and on this tab you're going to want to select the little gear that is labeled configure. Then you press reconfigure this host. Now once you're here, you want to move over to host parents. Now here I'm going to go and look at my network map to see what switch this switch we have here is connected to. So I want to scroll down to switch number 8, because we're on number 8, and then I find this line, and I'm going to follow that line up to the switch that I have it connected to. That is switch number 5. That means that I'm going to go in this list and look for switch number 5 here, select it, and update. Now that this is done, we can go back to the normal map and see if this actually worked. So when we're here, we're going to go to the network status map and have a look. And if we did it correctly, yep, there switch number 8 is now connected to switch number 5. You can also do this with the computers and the servers. Now I'm going to show you how to add a server or a computer. First you hover over configure and press configuration wizard. Now you just scroll down until you see Windows Server. Both computer and server look for the same kind of stuff, so you just need this one. And then you just type in your IP address for the server or computer. Here, much like the switches, you write whatever you want the server or computer to be displayed as. I recommend that you have some sort of system so we'll know what is what. Then we come to the most tricky part of this whole operation, where you're supposed to think for yourself. For example, if you have a server where all that is being done is that people go in and check the files and never edit anything or add anything, it's all just files that people check. Hey, is this correct? Is this correct? You don't need the warning at 90%. You maybe need it at 95 or even at 98. And this is all basically up to you, because you have to think, oh, is this what I need or is this what I need? Same goes for ping, which I chose to tick off, and CPU usage. It's all up to you. Then here you just want to do the same as with the switches and press finish. Now to end it all, I'm going to show you how to connect all of this with NagiOS. So first you go to the left side and press NagiOS, of course. Then you go to demo. Then you go to Actions, Edit Current Map, then Options, Manage Background. Then you find your image. Remember, it can't be too large. Mine is 337 by 600. This is basically just so you can fit it in the actual website, and mine is a tall image with the switches, so it gotta be tall. Then you upload the image. Now it won't change yet. You first have to go up on Map, then Map Options, then you choose the image there. Now if you go down and save, there it is. Now if you don't want these green demo squares, you just right click them and press delete. Now since this is probably what you're going to display maybe at the IT department of your company, I would zoom in, maybe zoom out, I don't know, whatever fits your screen. Now to add your own of those green dots that we deleted earlier, that's personalized for you, you go to Map, Add Icon, and then Host. Then you press wherever you want this host to be added. Then you choose the host, like what switch it is. And these will update if something goes down, for example. When you're done, remember to press View Current Map under Actions. Here you can see how it ended up looking for me. I have all the green squares for each switch going down on each actual switch. And then I have the server and the computer marked to where they're actually physically connected in the switches. One to switch 7 and one to switch 8. Now for some final thoughts / difficulties. I would like to say that I really think Nagios or any web network scanning service is really worth it for a company with an IT department especially, so that you can see if something has gone wrong before people start calling in and complaining about it, so you can already be working on it. Now for difficulties, I would like to first say that this went a lot smoother than I thought it would do. I heard this program was very difficult to use, but I found it quite easy actually. First time it's very difficult, but then when you have seen it once, it's extremely easy in my opinion. So my three main parts is, first of all, like my three main difficult parts was that when I couldn't work from home because I had to be where the network was, and that was difficult because I wanted to spend some time at home working while I had to wait until I got back. Now also I tried to set up TeamViewer, but the thing was I had some problems with TeamViewer on my computer at home, so I couldn't connect with TeamViewer unless I downgraded it to TeamViewer 7, which I couldn't do remotely because I had to close TeamViewer to download a new TeamViewer. Now the last difficult part was setting up the computer and the server so that we could actually see the information about how much disk space it had left and how much CPU usage it was at. I managed to get ping and CPU usage to work for some reason, but not the rest of it. If I spent more time on it, I probably would, but I had a deadline to meet, so I'll have to do that after the fact and just show that I have everything up now and do that later. So all we have here is basically two computers that's saying they're there, but nothing more about themselves except CPU.